For millennia, the Xylos thrived on Xylos Prime, a jewel of a planet nestled within a nebula of iridescent gas clouds. Their civilization, a beacon of peace and scientific advancement, had spread across their star system. Their lives a harmonious blend of art, philosophy, and technological wonder. Generations had passed without conflict, their days marked by the gentle hum of their energy-efficient cities and the soft glow of their bioluminescent flora. Their understanding of the universe was vast, their exploration meticulous, charting the stars with an almost reverent precision. They were explorers, not conquerors. Yet, even in their peaceful existence, a shadow stirred at the edge of their known cosmos that IT started subtly, an almost imperceptible anomaly in the background radiation, a faint energy signature that defied their current understanding of natural phenomena. IT was a whisper in the cosmic silence, a discordant note in their symphony of stellar observations, their most advanced. Sensors, instruments capable of detecting the faintest tremors of distant quasars, picked up this anomaly that IT was located far beyond the fringes of explored space. A tantalizing enigma that pulsed with a power both immense and unsettling. The Xylos, ever curious, ever driven by the thirst for knowledge, began to investigate. This faint, persistent energy signature, this anomaly at the edge of their known universe, was about to unravel a secret far older and far more dangerous than they could ever have imagined. This was the beginning, the prelude to a discovery that would shake the very foundations of their peaceful existence and force them to confront the terrifying reality of a universe far more complex and perilous than they had ever dared to dream, a universe where humanity lurked, hidden in plain sight. Weeks turned into months as the Xylos focused their collective scientific might on unraveling the mystery of the faint energy signature. Their advanced sensors, a network spanning their entire star system, painstakingly triangulated the source, inching closer to the truth with each passing cycle. The anticipation was palpable, a collective breath held across Xylos Prime. Then, the breakthrough. The source was pinpointed, not a celestial phenomenon, but something else. The image resolved slowly, pixel by pixel. On the vast holographic display in the central observatory, a gasp rippled through the assembled scientists, a sound of awe mixed with apprehension. IT was colossal, a behemoth of a vessel, dwarfing even their largest capital ships. Its design was unlike anything they had ever encountered, a brutal, angular architecture that spoke of power and aggression. Initial scans confirmed its composition. Metal alloys unknown to the Xylos, energy signatures consistent with a technology far beyond their own, but unmistakably artificial. The scale alone was terrifying that IT dwarfed their largest starships, a testament to a civilization capable of feats of engineering that. Bordered on the mythological, as more data poured in, the truth became horrifyingly clear. This wasn't just a ship. It was a warship, a dreadnought of unimaginable power, a relic of a forgotten age. The scans revealed markings, symbols, indecipherable yet undeniably human in their crude, almost barbaric elegance that IT was a star destroyer, a vessel of war, a monument to a long-dead empire. Or so the Xylos initially believed. But the faint, almost imperceptible hum of life support systems, the subtle fluctuations in energy emissions, hinted at something far more unsettling, something far more alive. This was no derelict husk. This was a sleeping giant, and it was about to awaken. The unveiling was complete, and the Xylos were face to face with the legacy of a species they never knew existed, a legacy of war and conquest, now stirring from its slumber. The discovery sent shockwaves through Xylosian society. Millennia of peaceful existence were shattered in an instant, replaced by a chilling uncertainty. Fear, raw and primal, gripped the hearts of even the most seasoned scientists. Their advanced civilization, so confident in its understanding of the universe, was confronted with a terrifying unknown. This wasn't a natural phenomenon. This was the deliberate creation of a species capable of unimaginable destruction, that a species that had vanished, leaving behind a silent, menacing testament to its power. Or had it? Confusion reigned supreme. The sheer scale of the vessel defied comprehension. Their initial scans had revealed only a fraction of its secrets, leaving more questions unanswered than answered. What kind of civilization could build such a weapon? What was its purpose? And most importantly, was it still active? The very idea that such a force could exist, hidden in the shadows of the cosmos, filled the Xylos with an overwhelming dread. Their carefully constructed worldview, based on peaceful coexistence and scientific exploration, crumbled under the weight of this terrifying revelation. Days bled into weeks as the Xylos pored over the data, their brightest minds working tirelessly to decipher the ship's origins and capabilities. They analyzed the intricate network of energy conduits, the strange symbols etched into its hull, the faint whispers of residual energy pulses. Every piece of data was meticulously examined, every hypothesis rigorously tested. The more they learned, the more the fear intensified, morphing into a chilling sense of foreboding. This was not simply an archaeological find. It was a potential threat, a sleeping giant that could awaken at any moment and unleash unimaginable destruction. The Xylos were facing their first true test, a test that would determine not only their future, but the fate of their entire civilization. The weight of the universe, it seemed, rested on their shoulders. Then it happened at a tremor, subtle at first, ran through the fabric of space-time itself. The Xylos' sensors went haywire, overloaded by a surge of raw energy unlike anything they had ever witnessed on the holographic display. The derelict Star Destroyer shuddered, its dark hull shimmering with an eerie, internal light. Slowly, agonizingly, the ship's cloaking field began to dissipate, peeling away like a shroud, revealing a terrifying truth. The full might of the vessel became apparent, a horrifying spectacle of weaponry and destruction. Turrets, massive and menacing, rotated slowly, their barrels glinting with a malevolent sheen. The ship's hull, previously a dark, indistinct mass, now revealed intricate details, the scars of battles fought and won, the chilling evidence of a destructive power far beyond the Xylos' comprehension. The energy readings spiked, off the charts, indicating the activation of systems long dormant. The shields, powerful energy barriers capable of deflecting even the most potent attacks, dropped with a silent sigh, revealing the terrifying arsenal within. It was a weapon of unimaginable power, a testament to a civilization capable of obliterating entire worlds. The Xylos' initial fear morphed into a chilling realization. They were facing a threat far beyond their capabilities, a force that could extinguish their civilization with a single, contemptuous gesture. Their peaceful existence, their scientific advancements, their profound understanding of the universe, all seemed insignificant in the face of this raw, brutal power. The awakening was complete, and the Xylos were left staring into the abyss, the cold, uncaring gaze of a sleeping giant now fully awake and ready for war. Or was it? The question hung heavy in the air, a silent scream in the face of overwhelming odds. The awakening had revealed not just a weapon, but a potential adversary, a terrifying unknown that could decide their fate in an instant. Panic gripped Xylos Prime. The realization of their utter helplessness spurred them into desperate action. Their entire fleet, a collection of sleek, technologically advanced vessels, mobilized with unprecedented speed. It was a futile gesture, a desperate attempt to flee the wrath of a power far beyond their comprehension. But hope, however slim, flickered in the hearts of the Xylos. They had to try. They had to escape. The Xylos fleet, a breathtaking sight in its own right, was dwarfed by the sheer scale of the Star Destroyer. Their ships, marvels of engineering and elegance, looked like toys against the backdrop of the colossal warship. As they attempted to flee, the disparity in power became horrifyingly clear. The Xylos' energy weapons, potent enough to obliterate asteroids, barely scratch the surface of the Star Destroyer shields. Their advanced cloaking technology proved useless against the superior sensors of the ancient vessel. Each passing moment brought a growing sense of hopelessness. The Star Destroyer, a silent, menacing predator, moved with an unnerving grace, its movements deliberate and precise. The Xylos' attempts to evade its pursuit were pathetic, their sophisticated maneuvers rendered useless against the sheer power of their adversary. Hope dwindled with each passing second, replaced by a chilling certainty. Escape was impossible. The Xylos were trapped, their valiant attempt to flee a futile act against an overwhelming force. Their fate, it seemed, was sealed. The desperate escape attempt had only served to highlight the immense power difference, leaving the Xylos facing a terrifying, inescapable reality. The vastness of space, once a symbol of freedom, had become their prison. The first shot was a warning, a demonstration of power. A single beam of energy, a super laser blast of unimaginable power, lanced out from the Star Destroyer, obliterating a Xylos cruiser in a blinding flash of incandescent light. The ship vanished, reduced to atoms in an instant, a stark reminder of the power disparity. The Xylos fleet, once a proud armada, was now under relentless attack. The Star Destroyer unleashed its full arsenal. Turbo lasers, beams of concentrated energy, tore through the Xylos' defenses, shattering shields and ripping apart hulls. Ion cannons, weapons designed to disable enemy vessels, slammed into the fleeing ships, frying their systems and leaving them helpless, drifting husks in the cold vacuum of space. Explosions rocked the fleet, a symphony of destruction orchestrated by the ancient warship. Each blast was a testament to the Star Destroyer's terrifying capabilities. Its weaponry was not merely powerful, it was precise, each shot finding its mark with chilling efficiency. The Xylos' desperate attempts to retaliate were futile. Their energy weapons, while formidable in their own right, were no match for the sheer firepower of the ancient warship. The once confident Xylos fleet was rapidly being decimated, their ships exploding in a fiery ballet of destruction. The Star Destroyer's power was overwhelming, absolute, a stark reminder of the vast gulf in technological advancement between the two civilizations. The display of weaponry was a chilling demonstration of the Star Destroyer's unchallenged might, leaving the Xylos facing utter annihilation. The destruction was swift, merciless, and complete. With their fleet crumbling around them, the Xylos resorted to desperate measures. Their remaining ships, battered and bruised, activated their advanced cloaking technology, attempting to vanish from the Star Destroyer's sensors. That IT was a gamble, a desperate attempt to buy time, to disappear into the vast expanse of space and hope for a miracle. The silence that followed was deafening, a tense moment of uncertainty. Had it worked? But the silence was short-lived. The Star Destroyer, a silent hunter, continued its relentless pursuit, its sensors seemingly unaffected by the cloaking technology. The Xylos, realizing the futility of their attempt at stealth, shifted to a new tactic. Disabling the ancient warship, a small squadron, their ships heavily shielded, launched a daring attack, aiming for the Star Destroyer's vulnerable points. Attempting to overload its systems. IT was a suicide mission, a desperate act of defiance against overwhelming odds. The squadron bravely charged, firing everything they had, their energy weapons painting streaks of light against the darkness of space. Their attacks were met with a furious barrage of turbo lasers, their valiant efforts met with brutal force. One by one, the Xylos ships were destroyed, their sacrifice a testament to their courage and their unwavering resolve. But in the end, their desperate measures failed. The Star Destroyer remained unyielding, its systems seemingly impervious to their attacks. Hope, once again, dwindled to a mere flicker in the face of the ancient warship's overwhelming might. Their desperate gambit had failed. The Xylos were left with little hope. The Xylos were unaware of the true nature of their adversary. They had encountered not merely an ancient weapon, but a symbol of a far more sinister force. The Star Destroyer was not merely derelict. It was a carefully preserved instrument of war, reactivated by a clandestine human faction operating far beyond the reach of their known governments. This was no accidental discovery. It was a calculated move, a deliberate act of aggression. This shadow organization, shrouded in secrecy and operating in the darkest corners of human space, possessed an ambition that dwarfed even the scale of the Star Destroyer itself. Their motives were as chilling as their power was overwhelming. They sought not mere conquest, but dominion. They envisioned a galactic empire built on fear and subjugation, a reign of terror that would stretch across the stars. The Star Destroyer was but one piece in their grand design, a terrifying harbinger of things to come. Their ruthlessness was legendary, their methods brutal and efficient. They operated outside the bounds of morality, their actions guided by a cold, calculated ambition that knew no limits. The Xylos encounter was a mere prelude, a test of their power, a demonstration of their capabilities to the galaxy at large, the human factions. True goals were far grander, far more terrifying than the immediate threat of the Star Destroyer. The destruction of the Xylos fleet was not an end in itself. It was merely a step towards a much larger, infinitely more sinister objective. The shadows cast by this clandestine organization extended far beyond the immediate conflict, promising a future filled with uncertainty and dread. The universe was about to learn the true meaning of human ambition, and it wouldn't be pretty. The Star Destroyer, a monument to human ambition and a testament to their capacity for destruction, was not a relic of a bygone era, but a carefully preserved weapon of unimaginable power. Its creation was shrouded in secrecy, a black project conceived in the darkest days of humanity's history, a time when the lust for power overshadowed all else. It was a weapon designed not for defense, but for conquest, a tool intended to forge a galactic empire. Its technology was far beyond anything the Xylos, or indeed most known civilizations, possessed. Advanced shielding systems, capable of withstanding unimaginable energy blasts, encased a hull of near-indestructible materials. Its weapons systems, a terrifying arsenal of super lasers, turbo lasers, and ion cannons, were capable of obliterating entire fleets with terrifying efficiency. IT was a masterpiece of engineering, a testament to human ingenuity twisted towards a horrifying purpose. The Star Destroyer's hidden location was a testament to the secrecy surrounding its creation and deployment. That IT was tucked away in a remote corner of the galaxy, a forgotten graveyard of old stars and dead worlds. Hidden from prying eyes and protected by layers of sophisticated cloaking technology, the location was strategically chosen, a secret base far removed from the reach of any potential adversaries, a perfect launch pad for the human faction's plans for galactic domination. Its rediscovery by the Xylos was a stroke of both incredible bad luck and, for the humans, an opportunity too good to pass up. The Star Destroyer was more than a weapon. It was a symbol, a chilling embodiment of unchecked human ambition. The human faction's agenda was chillingly simple: conquest. Their goals were multifaceted, driven by a ruthless pursuit of power and resources. They sought to expand their territory, to claim new worlds rich in resources, to exploit the galaxy's bounty for their own selfish gain. Their ambition knew no bounds, their hunger for power insatiable. The Xylos were merely an obstacle, an inconvenient impediment to their grand design. Resource acquisition was paramount. The galaxy, in their eyes, was a vast warehouse filled with untold riches, waiting to be plundered. Rare minerals, energy sources, habitable planets, all were targets for exploitation, to fuel their ever-expanding empire and enhance their already terrifying military power. They saw other civilizations not as equals, but as resources, as tools to be used and discarded. Territorial expansion was another key element of their strategy. They envisioned a vast empire, a network of conquered worlds bowing before their might. Every planet, every star system was a prize to be claimed, an addition to their growing domain. Their plans extended far beyond immediate gains. They aimed for nothing less than galactic domination. a reign of terror that would leave other civilizations trembling in fear. But it wasn't just about resources and territory. It was about the eradication of any perceived threat. The Xylos, with their advanced technology and their potential to resist, were deemed a significant obstacle. Their destruction was not merely a display of power, but a strategic move to eliminate a potential rival, a warning to other civilizations who might dare to oppose the human faction's relentless march towards galactic domination. Their disregard for other life forms was absolute. They viewed other species as nothing more than pawns in their grand game of conquest. The galaxy was about to face a storm unlike any it had witnessed before. Against all odds, a handful of Xylos vessels managed a miraculous escape that IT was a desperate gamble. A sliver of hope in the face of overwhelming destruction, AS the Star Destroyer unleashed its devastating firepower. A small group of ships, utilizing a previously unknown subspace jump technology, vanished from the battlefield. IT was a daring maneuver, a last-ditch effort orchestrated by a handful of brave Xylos scientists and navigators who risked everything to save their civilization from utter annihilation. The escape was far from easy. The Star Destroyer's sensors relentlessly tracked their every move, its weapons systems poised to obliterate any sign of resistance. The Xylos ships, battered and heavily damaged, were forced to weave through a deadly field of debris, dodging stray energy blasts and avoiding the relentless pursuit of the human warship. Their shields flickered and failed, their engines sputtered and strained, but they pressed on, driven by the sheer will to survive. The cost of this escape was immense. Countless Xylos' lives were lost, their sacrifice paving the way for the few who managed to slip through the net of destruction. The survivors, a mere handful of ships carrying a fraction of their civilization's knowledge and hope, emerged from the chaos, scarred but not broken. They carried with them the memory of their fallen comrades, a solemn vow to rebuild and to never forget the horrors they had witnessed. Their escape was a testament to their resilience, their courage, and their unwavering spirit. They were the remnants of a once proud civilization, bearing witness to the chilling truth of humanity's ambition, a testament to their survival and their vow to one day return. The galaxy would not forget the Xylos. The aftermath was a scene of unimaginable devastation. Where once a vibrant civilization thrived, now lay only wreckage and ruin. The Xylos' homeworld, once a beacon of progress and peace, was scarred by the relentless barrage of the Star Destroyer's weapons. Cities lay in smoldering ruins, their once proud structures reduced to rubble. The air itself was thick with the stench of burning metal and the lingering energy signatures of a devastating attack. The loss of life was staggering, beyond comprehension. Millions perished in the inferno, their lives extinguished in an instant. Families were torn apart, their futures stolen by the cold, calculated brutality of the human faction. The once vibrant culture of the Xylos, rich in history and tradition, was irrevocably shattered. Their libraries, repositories of knowledge spanning millennia, were reduced to ash. Their art, their music, their very essence as a civilization, was threatened with extinction. The survivors, those who had managed to escape the initial onslaught, were left to grapple with the horrifying reality of their loss. They carried the weight of their grief, the burden of their shattered world. The destruction was not merely physical. It was a deep wound to the soul of a civilization, a scar that would take generations, if ever, to heal. The silence left behind was deafening, punctuated only by the whisper of the wind through the ruins, a constant reminder of the tragedy that had befallen them. Their future was uncertain, their path fraught with peril, but amidst the devastation, a flicker of hope remained, the hope of rebuilding, of survival, of vengeance. The surviving Xylos faced a daunting task, rebuilding their shattered civilization, scattered across the galaxy, clinging to existence. On the fringes of known space, they began the arduous process of recovery. Their resources were scarce, their numbers dwindling, but their spirit remained unbroken. They established hidden settlements, constructing new homes amidst the vastness of space. always vigilant, always wary. The loss of their homeworld was a wound that ran deep, a constant reminder of the devastating power of humanity's weaponry. The memories of the attack, the screams of the dying, the fiery destruction of their once proud cities. These images haunted their dreams, fueling their determination to rebuild and to ensure that such a tragedy would never befall them again. The task was monumental, a Herculean effort that demanded every ounce of their strength and resilience. But rebuilding was only half the battle. The ever-present fear of humanity's return cast a long shadow over their efforts, the knowledge that a powerful, ruthless enemy lurked somewhere in the darkness of space fueled their anxieties and fueled their resolve. Every tremor in their newly constructed shelters, every unfamiliar energy signature detected, brought a fresh wave of terror. They lived in constant fear, knowing that the respite they had found could be shattered at any moment. The survivors knew that true peace would not come easily. The path ahead was long and arduous, filled with challenges and uncertainties. But fueled by the memory of their losses and the hope for a brighter future, the Xylos pressed on, determined to forge a new destiny, a testament to their resilience and their unwavering commitment to survival. The shadow of humanity loomed large, but the spirit of the Xylos remained unbroken. The actions of the human faction were not merely acts of aggression. They were a profound betrayal of the very principles of galactic coexistence. Their hubris, their insatiable thirst for power, led them down a path of destruction, leaving a trail of devastation and suffering in their wake, the annihilation of the Xylos. Civilization was not just a military victory. It was a moral catastrophe, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition. The consequences of their actions extended far beyond the immediate destruction. The galactic community, previously unaware of humanity's true nature, was now alerted to their aggressive tendencies and their disregard for other sentient life. This act of unprovoked aggression could easily ignite a galactic conflict of unimaginable scale, a war that could engulf the entire galaxy and leave countless civilizations in ruins. The seeds of hatred and distrust had been sown, and the harvest would be bitter indeed. The ethical implications of humanity's actions were profound. Their callous disregard for life, their exploitation of resources, and their thirst for domination raised fundamental questions about the nature of their civilization. Were they truly worthy of a place in the galactic community? Were they capable of change, of learning from their mistakes? The answers to these questions remained uncertain, shrouded in the shadow of their brutal actions. The future held the potential for both great conflict and profound change, depending on the choices humanity made in the years to come. The fate of the galaxy, quite possibly, rested on their ability to atone for their sins, or their unwillingness to do so. Discovery of the Star Destroyer wasn't just a Xylos tragedy. It had galactic implications of immense proportions. The sheer power of the weapon, its capacity for destruction, sent ripples of fear and uncertainty across the cosmos. The existence of such a formidable warship, capable of obliterating entire civilizations, fundamentally altered the galactic balance of power. The delicate peace that had, until now, prevailed was irrevocably shattered. The potential for other civilizations to stumble upon the Star Destroyer, or even for humanity to reveal its existence, was a chilling prospect. Imagine the chaos that could ensue if other ambitious factions learned of this ultimate weapon, its potential to reshape the galaxy according to their own ruthless designs, that a new arms race could erupt, civilizations scrambling to acquire or counter this ultimate instrument of destruction, the galaxy. Once a tapestry of diverse cultures and civilizations, could be plunged into a maelstrom of violence and conflict, a perpetual war for dominance. The discovery of the Star Destroyer had the potential to reshape the very fabric of galactic society. Alliances could be forged and broken, civilizations could rise and fall, all based on the possession or threat of this ultimate weapon. The fear of its destructive power could lead to an era of unprecedented paranoia and mistrust, as civilizations hoarded their resources and prepared for inevitable conflict. The future of the galaxy, once a realm of possibilities, was now clouded by the ominous shadow of humanity's discovery, a shadow that threatened to extinguish the light of countless stars. The potential for widespread conflict, driven by fear and the lust for power, was a grim and unavoidable consequence. Against all odds, the surviving Xylos, scattered and vulnerable, launched a desperate gambit. They knew their chances were slim, their resources meager, but the fate of the galaxy rested on their shoulders. They had to warn others. They had to sound the alarm before humanity's insatiable hunger for conquest consumed everything in its path. Using the last vestiges of their advanced technology, they crafted a message, a desperate plea for help, a chilling warning of the threat posed by humanity. This message, encoded using sophisticated algorithms and embedded within a near-undetectable subspace signal, was broadcast across the galaxy. A faint whisper against the cacophony of space, it detailed humanity's ruthlessness, their technological prowess, and the catastrophic potential of their weapon. The message described the destruction of the Xylos' homeworld, the annihilation of their fleet, and the chilling ambition that drove humanity's actions. That it was a testament to their suffering, a desperate cry for assistance, a stark warning to other civilizations. Would it be heard? Would it be believed? The answers to those questions remained uncertain, hanging heavy in the silence of space. The Xylos, though ravaged and scattered, placed their faith in the possibility that their warning would reach those who could stop humanity before it was too late. The fate of the galaxy depended on it. Their dying breath became a desperate plea, a chilling prophecy echoing through the void. The Xylos' desperate warning sent shockwaves through the galaxy. For millennia, a fragile peace had held, a delicate balance of power maintained by a complex web of alliances and treaties. Now, that balance was shattered. The revelation of humanity's ruthlessness and technological superiority sent tremors of fear through countless civilizations. Some responded with immediate action, bolstering their defenses, forging new alliances, and preparing for a war they knew might be inevitable. Ancient rivalries were set aside as civilizations realized the common threat. The urgency of the situation forced them to confront their differences and unite against a common enemy. Starship yards hummed with activity, weapons factories worked overtime, and fleets were mobilized, preparing for a conflict of unprecedented scale. Others, more cautious, opted for diplomacy. They dispatched emissaries, hoping to contact humanity to understand their motivations and to find a peaceful resolution before the galaxy descended into chaos. These diplomatic efforts were fraught with peril, as the possibility of betrayal loomed large. Could humanity be reasoned with? Could their thirst for conquest be quenched? The answers remained elusive, hanging precariously in the balance as the galaxy braced itself for the storm. The fate of countless civilizations rested on the success or failure of these desperate attempts at peace. The galaxy held its breath on the edge of an abyss. The actions of humanity forced a reckoning across the galaxy. The very foundations of galactic morality were shaken. Did any civilization, no matter how technologically advanced, possess the right to conquer and subjugate others? Was the pursuit of power a justification for the extermination of entire species? The annihilation of the Xylos raised profound questions about the value of life, the sanctity of civilizations, and the responsibility that came with wielding such immense power. The sheer scale of humanity's aggression, their willingness to unleash such devastation without hesitation, chilled the hearts of countless beings across the cosmos. The implications were far-reaching, challenging the very principles that had, until now, guided galactic interactions. The destruction of Xylos served as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the potential for even the most advanced civilizations to succumb to their baser instincts. The silence of space, once filled with the hum of peaceful coexistence, was now heavy with the weight of unspoken questions. Could humanity's actions be excused as a necessary evil in the pursuit of a greater good? Or was it a blatant disregard for the fundamental right to existence of other sentient beings? The answers were not easily found, lost within the vast expanse of the cosmos, as chilling as the cold vacuum of space itself. The moral dilemma was not just a philosophical debate. It was a stark reality, a terrifying truth that hung over the galaxy like a looming shadow. The future of the cosmos rested upon the answers, or the lack thereof. The galaxy stood on the precipice. The fragile peace, shattered by humanity's aggression, hung by a thread. Alliances shifted, treaties were broken, and the shadow of war loomed large over countless star systems. The future, once a tapestry of possibilities, was now a bleak canvas painted with the hues of conflict and uncertainty. Would humanity's reign of terror be challenged? Would other civilizations rise to meet the threat, or would they crumble under the weight of humanity's superior firepower? The answers were shrouded in mystery, hidden within the vastness of space, as uncertain as the swirling nebulae that dotted the cosmos. The echoes of the Xylo's destruction serve as a grim reminder of the stakes involved, a chilling testament to the fragility of life in the face of overwhelming power. The fate of countless worlds hung in the balance, their destinies intertwined with the choices made by the galactic powers. Would they unite against a common enemy, or would their differences tear them apart, leaving them vulnerable to humanity's insatiable hunger for conquest? The question remained unanswered. A haunting melody played on the strings of fate. The galaxy waited, breathless, on the edge of a new era, an era defined by the choices made in the wake of humanity's shocking revelation, an era where the future remained tragically uncertain. The silence of space held a terrible promise: conflict, or perhaps annihilation. The story of the Xylos serves as a chilling warning, a cautionary tale whispered on the cosmic winds. It is a testament to the dangers of unchecked ambition, the devastating consequences of unchecked power, and the fragility of peace in a galaxy teeming with diverse civilizations. The echoes of humanity's conquest reverberate through the stars, a stark reminder of the potential for destruction inherent in the pursuit of galactic dominance. The destruction of the Xylos was not just a military victory. It was a moral catastrophe, a stain on the fabric of the cosmos. It raised profound questions about the very nature of humanity, their capacity for empathy, and their understanding of the value of life beyond their own. The silence left in the wake of their annihilation speaks volumes, a silent scream echoing through the emptiness of space. Will humanity's actions serve as a catalyst for galactic unity, a force that drives other civilizations to unite against a common enemy? Or will it instead sow the seeds of discord, leading to a galaxy-wide conflict of unprecedented scale? The answer remains shrouded in the uncertainties of the future, a mystery that hangs heavy in the air, a chilling suspense that permeates the very fabric of the cosmos. The story of the Xylos is not merely a tale of conquest and destruction. It is a reflection of our own potential for both greatness and terrible ruin. The future of the galaxy, and perhaps even our own, hangs precariously in the balance. The echoes of conquest linger, a haunting reminder of what could be.